pedophilia, an inborn brain disorder, distinct from sexual orientation, and our responsibility to protect children. This is Jeffrey Epstein, a billionaire, friend of presidents and Hollywood stars, owner of a private island and jet. A life that looks like a dream, full of wealth and power. But the world learned his name not because of achievements, but because of his crimes. Crimes that, according to some documents, may have involved some of the richest and most influential people in the world. According to statistics, every fifth child globally encounters inappropriate behavior from adults. There are almost certainly victims in your surroundings, possibly perpetrators, too. And most of them look like ordinary people. Some are even idols or leaders. In a previous video, we said that orientation is formed in the womb. So, an uncomfortable question arises. If homosexuality is an inborn feature of the brain, does that mean attraction to children is also a kind of orientation? Today we're addressing one of the most taboo topics in psychology. Where does this deviation come from? Is it truly one? Why and how is their brain different? Can a dangerous person be recognized before something irreversible happens? And most importantly, can it be treated? Imagine there is a switch in the brain that determines sexual interest. For most people, it is set toward adults or people of their age. This switch usually matures with us, but in some people, it gets stuck early. Why? There are related terms. Hebephilia, attraction to children at the beginning of puberty. Ephebophilia, attraction to adolescents whose puberty is nearly complete. Modern psychiatry separates these from pedophilia. And ephebophilia is not even considered a diagnosis, since it involves near adults. Why do these nuances matter? Because not every attraction to younger people is a disorder, and even a diagnosis does not always lead to a crime. Likewise, many convicted offenders have no clinical pathology. Often it's about personality, fear of equal relationships, desire for dominance, need to feel stronger, insecurity. Younger individuals become easier targets. So when someone consistently seeks much younger partners, it's often not about beauty or pathology, but about internal insecurity and compensation through control. The greater the insecurity, the stronger the compensation. But true pathology is something else entirely. It's not about midlife crises or preferences. It's about attraction to those who cannot understand, cannot consent, and are always victims. In psychiatric terms, pedophilia is a persistent sexual interest in prepubescent children, not adolescents. This matters not just for terminology, but for how the brain works. A healthy brain distinguishes, this is a potential partner, this is a child to protect. In pedophilia, this boundary is blurred. Children are mistakenly processed as sexually relevant, and this likely begins long before a person understands sexuality. Neuroscience studies show recurring patterns. On average, such individuals may score lower on IQ tests. The stronger the condition, the younger the target. They often have minor developmental anomalies. Brain scans reveal reduced gray matter in the orbitofrontal cortex, responsible for self-control. Connections related to sexual arousal are also altered. So where do these disruptions come from? There is no single cause, but risk factors include complications during pregnancy, premature birth, oxygen deprivation at birth, severe infections, head injuries. Sometimes, damage occurs in adulthood. A famous case, 2003. A 40-year-old teacher suddenly developed illegal urges. MRI revealed a tumor in the orbitofrontal cortex. After removal, symptoms disappeared. When the tumor returned, so did the behavior. Similar effects can occur from strokes, Parkinson's disease, dementia, and other brain disorders. Though rare, such cases show pedophilia can involve brain dysfunction. But biology is only part of the story. Many cases show patterns: emotional neglect, family violence, lack of healthy relationships, chronic loneliness. There is a myth. Abused children become abusers. Not necessarily. Most do not. But if biological vulnerability exists, environment can act as a trigger. A disturbing example is Anatoly Slivko, a youth club leader trusted by parents. He selected boys, isolated them, and subjected them to harmful tests, documenting his actions. He murdered several children and was executed in 1989. He had birth complications and traumatic childhood experiences. At age 23, he witnessed a fatal accident involving a boy, which triggered sexual arousal. This linked trauma with sexuality, a process called imprinting. Another case is Andrei Chikatilo. He grew up in wartime trauma and social isolation. His victims included children and vulnerable adults. Experts suggested possible brain abnormalities. These cases illustrate a combination of biological vulnerability and environmental trauma, yet both appeared normal in society. Most individuals with pedophilic tendencies are not serial killers, and most abuse does not resemble horror stories. It is often subtle, disguised as care and attention. This is called grooming. a gradual process, building trust, giving attention and gifts, slowly crossing boundaries. Today, the internet makes this easier. Games, chats, and social media follow the same pattern. Another misconception: offenders are only men. Women also commit such crimes, but are less suspected. Caregiving roles can mask abuse. Society must remain aware. Parents should monitor both real-life and online environments and ensure children feel safe at home. So, is pedophilia a sexual orientation? Yes, and absolutely not. Ethically, orientation involves consenting adults. Pedophilia involves exploitation of those who cannot consent. Biologically, there are partial similarities: stable patterns of attraction, early development, brain involvement, but they are fundamentally different. Orientation relates mainly to the hypothalamus. Pedophilia involves frontotemporal brain regions, often with developmental issues. It can also be acquired through injury or illness, and sometimes reversed. In simple terms, orientation equals different brain wiring. Pedophilia equals impaired or damaged system. That's why it's classified among paraphilias, like zoophilia. The filter in the brain normally evaluates age, species, condition. In pedophilia, the age filter fails. In zoophilia, the species filter fails. Different outcomes, same type of malfunction. So the conclusion is uncomfortable, but clear. Yes, pedophilia is often rooted in brain and psychological abnormalities. Yes, individuals do not choose these tendencies, but actions are always a choice. The moment thought becomes action involving a child, it is a crime. There are no gray areas. Regardless of biology or trauma, harming a child is abuse and destruction of a life. Our responsibility as a society is simple. Do not romanticize criminals. Do not ignore warning signs. Do not assume it can't happen here. Teach children about boundaries, not just obedience. Ensure they feel safe to speak. Children must know they will be heard and not judged, that they are protected. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones, especially those who cannot yet protect themselves.